Y'all know the vibes, man. It's Young, the one who do it. Numbers don't lie. That's the movement. Now let's get to it. We got Papoose on Vlad TV saying that this is hip hop's worst era right now in this time that we in. So we saw the charts go cold. No rap songs in the top 40. That isn't just a down year. That's a cultural shift. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to ponder on why that's going on, why that is, and if these facts, if these stats, if these numbers have any truth to them. We seen that the era of the composition notebook has disappeared. Everybody went to their phone. We seen people go to their BlackBerry. I don't know if y'all remember that. I don't know how old you are if you're watching. They got the BlackBerry. They had the Sidekick. You know what I'm saying? It was just a moment when people like Drake. Actually, I think Drake was around that time of the shift. And we saw people started to write their lyrics on their phone. When I was coming up, we was writing the lyrics on a paper. I know y'all don't even use paper no more. And pens. And pencils. Number 2 pencils, by the way. You know what I'm saying? We had the lead pencils too. So we seen a lot of that shit change. A lot of people is not doing that no more. Shit. Nowadays you see ghostwriters. Me, myself, I am a ghostwriter. I'm a songwriter. I write for people. And the great thing about it, the reason why people come to me and spend money is because I'm not going to expose or tell that I wrote the song for them. Sometimes I get writer's credit. Sometimes I don't get writer's credit. But we see that that's a normal thing today. People feel good and okay to actually let's just say what it is. A lot of people don't got talent. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people. The talent has shifted. It was back in the day when I was coming up, people used to really freestyle off their mind. They was coming up with the stuff off their mind. You know what I mean? Then from that, I seen people kind of shift and start writing the freestyles. So there was a time where that disappeared, where people was going to the radio, wherever they was going. You know what I mean? They might have been rapping it on beat. They might have been rapping in front of a camera, but they stopped actually spitting freestyles off the top of their mind. You know what I mean? So I went to, I'm going to write my freestyle. But let's get to it. Let's see what Papoose is talking about. Let's break it down. Let's react to it. Are we in the worst hip hop era right now?
Well, a couple things before I let you go. You said this is the worst era of hip hop.
I did. My sound disappeared on me, man.
Well, a couple things before I let you go. You said this is the worst era of hip hop.
I did. When I said that, Vlad.
Hold on. Let me pull it up.
Yo, that's funny.
I don't just make shit up.
Yo, they can't get nothing past you, man.
Hold on.
I said that.
Hold on.
That's crazy.
Let me just cross-reference it.
Yeah, make sure I said that,
Vlad. This was on the Danza Project a few months ago.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and call this the worst era of hip hop. Right? And that laugh tells me you agree with me. Right? Do you feel like that is part of it that took it down? Right? Because you used to have to get the composition notebook. Mm-hmm. Or one of these notebooks, right? And then you used to have to write your lyrics.
Yeah, man.
It was an art just to write the
You
music.
had to write it, man.
Scribe.
You had to actually write it down. What the fuck do they do now when they create lyrics?
ChatGPT.
Man, you know what, Vlad? They take it away from what hip hop is about. You know, like I grew up in this, and I'm very passionate about it. You know what I mean? I understand what it was built on. I understand what's at the root of it. So when people try to make it seem like it's about other things, it bothers me, man, because it's really not about that, man. You know, you got to understand, you know, say when it first started, like in the beginning of hip hop, me as a child being a part of hip hop is rap is something you do. I'm a part of the culture. When I seen another, and you know, he let me know he was an MC. We would immediately train, right? Still sharp and still. Dance, breakdance, graffiti. You got the 5 elements of hip hop, DJing. So it was about showing skill, and then eventually it turned into a business. And some people try to make it seem like it's about the business, and those who aren't giants in the business aren't good. And that's just bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We all gotta feed our families. We all gotta make a living. But when we're talking about,
That's true though, that people make it about the business, right? When something grows, that's what happens, right? The same thing we can say for many sports, right? It wasn't the same way when it first started. When hip hop first started, there was no business connected to hip hop. So I believe things change over time. And it's not wrong to look at somebody's attributes as far as their numbers, as far as the way they dress, as far as all types of things that they attain. You know what I mean? If that's part of that culture and that's something that became part of that culture, it shifted. And I don't know if that's a negative thing. I don't know where I'm going with that, but we're going to get back to Papoose and see where he's going with what he's saying.
5 MCs, and you're telling me this guy is better because he wore a better outfit, or this guy is better because of what's in his bank account, and you never been seeing his account balance, talk to you no more. You know what I'm saying? Those are not things.
Yeah, that's hard for me to separate that, because in the beginning of hip hop, people was fly. That is a part of hip hop. We cannot say people getting dressed fly and looking a certain type of way. A lot of people was trying to emulate the drug dealers in their city. So certain things that people was wearing in the beginning of hip hop in the 80s, we're not going to sit here and act like somebody else wasn't copying that or doing that because of the rapper. You know what I'm saying? So maybe Papoose wasn't fly. Maybe that's not something that he was good at, but there was rappers. I remember from the beginning, the inception of hip hop. I'm 90s. I'm an 80s baby. I was in the 90s. I will say it is important for me to look at a rapper, and I will judge him by the stuff that he wears. If I feel like he doesn't look fly, nobody wants, like, what kid wants to be like somebody when they looking at somebody and they like, yo, he's bummy, he's dusty. You know what I'm saying? Nah, they looking at the rappers. They had chains on. They had fly gear. They had the Reeboks. They had the Adidas. They had the Nikes. So I can't discredit what they was wearing and say that that's not hip hop. Hip hop absolutely is connected to what people is wearing. So that's false. I don't know why he said that. I'm gonna bring that back so y'all can hear that.
We all gotta feed our families. We all gotta make a living. But when we're talking about who's the top 5 MCs, and you're telling me this guy is better because he wore a better outfit, or this guy is better because of what's in his bank account, and you never been seeing his account balance, I just can't talk to you no more.
Yeah, like the account balance thing might be a little different. I ain't gonna hold you. And I kind of hate that conversation when people start talking about who made more money and you don't really know. You're looking at Forbes lists, you're looking at stuff that people put out there. You don't really know who made more money, but it's a common conversation. It's been in the barbershops since the beginning of time. So these are things that was always connected to hip hop to me. I don't know about Papoose, what he's pulling from, but people was always talking about who made more money, who got the better clothes, who's flyer. You know what I'm saying? And then it goes to the lyrics and all of that stuff too. But it's so many things when you're talking about a top 5. You can't take none of these things away. These attributes are all part of the top 5. Like, yo, dude was fly. He got the charts. You know what I mean? He got the hits. He's lyrical. He got stuff for the women. Whatever. There could be so many different arguments. So I don't know if he's making this argument for himself. It sounds like he's making this argument for himself. Sounds like it has nothing to do with hip hop. It's like his history.
You know what I'm saying? Those are not things that we should be judging artists upon. And I think that hurts the culture, that hurts the craft of it.
Absolutely
The best
disagree. 100% disagree. It might hurt people remembering Papoose.
Becomes low-hanging fruit, and people feel like they can just do anything. So those are just some of the things that I dislike about the culture that people do. You know what I mean? And not because of what they gain from it, but because of what they take away from the true MCs who really do this art form for real. I feel like lyricists are the most hated in hip hop, and no one sees it because
I don't believe that that's true either. I think that's not a true statement. Certain type of lyricists, yeah, but people love Nas. People love Kendrick. People actually love J. Cole. People love Jay-Z. I mean, the list is very, very heavy of lyricists and lyricism that I think people love. They don't love every lyricist though.
people are blinded by shiny objects. You know what I mean? And part of the reason why a lot of these guys in the industry always hated me is because they didn't have a leg to stand on. If you want to talk about shiny objects, I got that. If you want to talk about hip hop, I'm authentic, I got that. If you want to take it to the street, I'm from there. We could play that game too. If you want to talk about having substance and talking about something, I'm capable of that as well. So,
but what about a hit? What if we want to talk about a hit? What if we want to talk about something of substance when it comes to a song, something that we can enjoy, that we can play and have a good time to? What about that, Papoose? Do you got that? No.
And enlightening people, you know what I mean? Let me add that. So that's why they always hated me, because they didn't know how to come at me. So what they just did was they always tried to block my career. They always hated on me. And I feel like guys like 50, when he comes out and he has so many negative things to say about me as an artist, right? But in the process of him saying it, he's quoting my biggest hit. By the way, I ghostwrote plenty of hits. I'm Dumbo.
What was all the negative things he said about Papoose? I believe the only thing I saw, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, is that Papoose had 0 hits. And I think that's true. I'm pretty sure that that's true. I mean, I actually mess with Papoose. I grew up listening to his stuff, but we all was waiting for the hit. We all was waiting for that magic, and it never happened. It never happened. Not at all. It wasn't even close.
Cash them.
Wait.
By the way,
hold on. You can't just throw that out there like that. Not on Vlad TV.
Featured on tremendous hits. Shout out to my brother Joe. We had one of the biggest records ever. Baby, where you at? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother Busta Rhymes. You know, when I featured on Touch Remix with so many legends, and arguably, you know, the people.
Wait. He said he had a song with Joe. Y'all gotta tell me what that is, because I really don't know.
Featured on tremendous hits. Shout out to my brother Joe. We had one of the biggest records ever. Baby, where you at? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother Busta Rhymes. You know, when I featured on Touch Remix with so many legends, and arguably, you know, the people who say I had the best verse. So for a new artist, for people to even say that, it says a lot about you as an artist. I can keep going, Vlad. My accolades are tremendous.
Hold on a second. Who did you ghostwrite for? Ghostwriting means that.
I give it to him though on the Touch It pause. I believe he had one of the best verses. There was a lot of dudes on there. I think it was DMX. I want to say Lloyd Banks, Busta Rhymes, obviously. So yes, he did hold his own against a lot of people that was, you know, revered as some of the best. But that's all I remember. I don't remember anything else that Papoose did. Now this song with Joe, I don't remember this song either. I don't remember this. This is Joe's song though, but he was featured on it. So we're gonna look into that eventually. I ain't gonna play it on here because I'm not gonna get no copyright.
People don't even know you're associated with that song. It doesn't mean, that you're on the song with them. Who did you ghostwrite for?
Well, that's why they call it ghostwriting. I can't tell you.
Oh, so you can't say. Okay, I got it. All right, I got it.
Well, just so you know, Pat, Remy Ma said you ain't ghostwrite nothing. She said you ain't do none of that, man. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. Remy, she might have the better flow, the better bars, all of that when it comes to her versus Papoose. And you know she just dissed Papoose. I actually think you might have to respond to that before you even start talking about 50. Get at Remy Ma, man. That's your wife. That's still your right. That's still your wife, right? You can't have your wife out here disrespecting you, bro. Or disrespecting the chick that you cheating with. You know what I'm saying?
But Vlad, my pen work. And I'm being honest with you, man. These guys, and I'm going to say this on Vlad TV, and I don't even promote this. Your favorite rappers, they've been afraid of my pen since I came in the game. They've been afraid of my pen. They've been afraid of me. And I don't want to say they're afraid of me because, you know, on some tough guy shit, they've been afraid of my pen. They've been scared of me.
I never actually heard this, man.
Bro, as an artist. So they've been putting up roadblocks on myself. Rest in peace to my brother DJ Slay. You know, we had these.
I never heard anybody say that they were scared of Papoose pen. I don't know. But let's get to the Remy Ma joint real quick, man. Let's switch it up. Let's see what Remy Ma doing. Let's respond to that too. Let's get it, Remy.
Next stop is Radar Radio.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Hey.
Dummy on the beat, so it's a banger.
Watch how you talk to me. I'm a mogul, bitch. You getting surgery in exchange for promo, bitch. I'm with gang on a yacht or some YOLO shit. You keep jumping on my dick like a pogo stick. In competition with herself, don't even know that bitch. Hoes be doing the most over so dick. I been.
Hey. Remy getting to it. She getting to the bars. Let's go.
Since I was wearing Bobos, bitch, you get a bullet through your shirt with a logo with the nerve of niggas claiming that they wrote those hits when they whole career.
See, she said you ain't write the hits, Pat. We got a discrepancy right here, man. She's saying you ain't write the hits. You saying you ghostwrote for mad people. Now you talking about you don't want to say who those people is because you ghostwrote. Something's not adding up, man. Something's not adding up. You should be able to speak about it by now, especially if you did it years ago.
They ain't never ghostwrote shit, not for me or any.
They ain't never ghostwrote. Shh.
Whole career, they ain't never ghostwrote shit, not for anybody else. You always acting like you a nigga. Go help yourself. See,
exactly. If you wrote the hits, bro. If you wrote the hits, why can't you write the hits for yourself? I hate when people say they be writing mad hits. Gilly the Kid. Gilly the Kid, another one. You know what I'm saying? If you wrote the hits for Wayne, why you ain't do it for yourself, brother? Why you ain't do it for yourself? Why couldn't you do it for yourself? You didn't want to do it for yourself?
I know what the problem is. I don't really brag enough, but you don't talk about prices when your bag is up. You keep talking numbers, but the numbers ain't.
The numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. Sound like Remy doing her thing. Yo, Pat, we don't believe you, bro. We don't believe you. We got to see it at this point. You got to show us that it's real. Show us that it's real. She's saying you ain't write nothing. You on Vlad saying you wrote a whole bunch of stuff. It's not adding up, bro. And now you can't share the information. We don't believe you, man. But let's get back to it.
These conversations numerous times. And, you know, it's been confirmed to be true. You know, I did an interview with Envy one time, who's one of the top DJs in New York City, and he admitted it. Yo, we couldn't play Papoose records. You know what I'm saying? When he came through, we didn't support his record. You can look this up.
But what if they couldn't support your records because they just wasn't going to hit like that? What if that's just not what people wanted on the radio, man? What if it was because the beats wasn't popping enough? What if it was because your flow wasn't polished enough? You ever thought about that? That's a possibility that you didn't have what they was looking for because it is a business. You spoke about business earlier. You said that hip hop became a business. That's usually what happens when people make money. When people make money from something, it's now a business. So you can't be upset if a business doesn't want to invest in you because you don't have what people want. It's supply demand, brother. And you didn't have those things on deck.
Because he was K Slate artist. That was that angle of it. So I caught the K Slate hate and the Papoose hate. I think a lot of the I ain't gonna call no names because I actually slap fives and salute a lot of these guys out here. I don't got nothing against them.
Nah, if you're gonna talk about it, man. You can't halfway expose some shit. We want to know who was suppressing everything. Who did you have problems with? Speak about it. Just because you cool with niggas now you can't speak about it. To me, that's not no real shit. If you're gonna tell your story and you want to talk about something, because it's gonna sound like you complaining if you can't speak on that shit.
But I will say this, right? If you look at hip hop and what transpired in the last 20 years, there's a couple things that transpired. One of the things is New York took the back seat, right? In hip hop. And part of that reason is I feel like a lot of these guys, they hated on the new artists that were coming up.
If you've been in a car accident recently,
I wonder what new artists he's talking about. What new artists was they hating on, brother? Talk about it.
When new artists were coming up and doing their thing, they didn't embrace them. Not only did they not embrace them, they put up roadblocks. They signed some of us and just to do a tax write-off. They never wanted to see nobody come up. These are the guys at the top of the game, right? I feel like they were so busy blocking the New York artists that it gave the South an open lane. And not to take nothing away from the South because they did what they were supposed to do. They made the right records. They handled their scandal. But these guys were so afraid of us coming up.
I actually like that. He said they handled their scandal. So you saying the whole South was a scandal?
These are the guys at the top of the game, right? I feel like they were so busy blocking the New York artists that it gave the South an open lane. And not to take nothing away from the South because they did what they were supposed to do. They made the right records. They handled their scandal. But these guys were so afraid of us coming up and trying to block us, they kept their eyes off of, they took their eyes off of who they should have been worried.
I don't 100% believe that. I think what happened was the South really made bouncy music, club-driven music that people wanted to party to. They wanted to turn up to. And that's how we got where we are right now. I think people got a little bit bored with lyricism. I think lyricism actually died because it wasn't like they was connecting the lyricism with the bouncy beats, with the flow. You know what I mean? Things change. People like different things as time changes. People started liking Southern beats. It was new. It was a new thing. It was a new concept. Now, did the DJs in New York not play New York shit at the same time? Absolutely. Absolutely. But they was getting paid to do that. A lot of them was getting paid to do what they did. They wanted to get the money. And the people from the South, let's be real. Let's be real about it. People from the South was coming up there with that bread. They was coming to the radio. They paying people, man. They got the bread because they was getting that money in the South. So I think commercialism, capitalism is something that changed the game. Not so much lyricism. I think if we had a whole bunch of people that had a whole bunch of money that had lyrics, they could outshine some of the people that was coming up and spending money to make things happen. Because it always took money.
And I feel like that's how the South was able to come up. Them guys had the unity amongst each other at one time, right? They going through their shit now, but they had the unity and they took over. So I feel like that transpired. I also feel like in hip hop, part of the reason why streaming and the streaming platforms took over and radio took the back seat now is because they was gatekeeping too much, bro. There's too many hurdles and obstacles you had to go through to get on the radio. And I really think they were so busy blocking that the new generation said, okay, we're gonna just go over here then. Because they couldn't get on the radio. Getting on the radio is damn near impossible. You know what I mean? Not to mention payola and all the sucker shit they was putting artists through, you know, that you had to go through just to get on the radio. But I really think that's why streaming became so powerful, and the streamers are running the game. Shout to Akademiks. I don't want to not.
It's not just that. It's also the behavior of the consumers. People stop listening to the radio. The radio has edited, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be the real version on the radio. People was going to satellite radio. They going to YouTube, as we on YouTube right now. Streaming services came out. So it's really about the access. It's not just about the artists. Like, people are blaming the artists and the DJs and the system. Those are a real thing. Those things happen. But also you have competition. When competition happens, people naturally are going to gravitate to whatever is cheaper, whatever is better for them, for the consumer. It's not just about the person that's putting something out. It's about all the other options. When you have other options, people are going to flood that. So the market is going to always change when new things come out. We got AI now. Music is changing. It's always going to keep changing because new technology is going to continue to happen. That's it. It don't always have to be, yo, it's a gatekeeper. Oh, it's this person holding me back. Sometimes your music just trash, nigga. And when there's more options for the shit to get out and you still can't get it out, sometimes you got to look in that mirror and be like, man, niggas don't fuck with me. They might just not mess with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because if they mess with you, you would have a heavier following. It's not just people don't listen to lyrics no more. You can get music from anywhere across the world. So if your shit is dope, they're going to listen to you. If they don't like you, they're not going to listen to you. It is what it is.
Name anybody, but shout to all of the streamers out there. But Akademiks is one of the guys who I feel like he did what he was supposed to do. And part of the reason why they were able to capitalize and be at the front seat of the game, I think Jay-Z just did an interview the other day and he said, yo, the DJ is not at the forefront anymore. And I love all my guys out there, all my DJs. I got love and respect for y'all, so I'm not shitting on y'all. But I am keeping it a buck right now. Some of y'all were making it too difficult for artists to get support from y'all. Even when y'all knew niggas was on fire, artists.
I agree. I definitely agree right there. I do believe that DJs was making it difficult, but I don't think that they were the ones that had the power to make it difficult or not difficult. I believe that it was the system intact that was around them. They was trying to secure their job. These people have a job. They're not bosses. They're employees. So they're working for somebody else. They underneath somebody else. So y'all running up there thinking, oh, this person's hating on me. And sometimes they might have been if they were spinning at certain clubs where they had that power. But if it's the radio, bro, them dudes ain't got the power on the radio like that. They just don't. So you barking up a tree that they don't control. You get what I'm saying? You're not being played because the actual system that's in place don't want you to be played unless you go through a certain way. That's it. When you stop having emotional connection to all of this stuff, I used to be that artist that had emotional connection. Then when I started being a ghostwriter and a songwriter, I started realizing, oh, these emotions that I'm having are not correct because there's just a system in place. And it might not be the best system, but it's in place. And it's not up to me to change that. All I can do is I can just work with the people that I'm working with and have like I could do it good for me. The business I'm doing for myself is good. But that's not going to affect every single other person doing business. And that's not going to change everybody else doing business because it's just myself by myself. It's my business. So I think Papoose is getting that confused. He's getting that confused. Like, niggas can't control the radio, bro. It's not their company. They just working there. They getting a check.
Killing it. I'm talking about touring, doing shows, making dope records. Y'all still was being difficult for them to get support and get on the radio. And that's why now, y'all niggas took the back seat and the streamers is running the game, bro. Real talk.
Well, I mean, what you said about this being the worst era, I mean, there is some evidence behind it because if you remember, in October 25th, 2025, it was the first time in 35 years that no rap songs appeared on the Billboard Top 40. 35 years. And overall, hip hop market share decreased something like 24%. So hip hop is not on the charts anymore. And from my point of view, the reason is because, look, no one could deny that hip hop is youth driven, right?
Well, I hear you, but I don't like when people put it all on the youth though.
It's not all on the youth.
I don't like when they do that either.
But every superstar in hip hop started out as a young artist.
But some of them had their biggest success when they were older. A lot of them.
Yes, you have you got the 2 Chainz of the world and so forth.
Right, so two things could be true, right?
I dare you to let me build you.
2 things can be true. I think a lot of artists, like Vlad said, had their success in the beginning of their career, not the end.
Like what you said, but some of the biggest success when they were older. A lot of them.
Yes, you have you got the 2 Chainz.
He said some of them, then he said a lot of them. I think that would be incorrect. I think most people had their biggest moment in the beginning of their career. Most, not all.
The world and so forth.
Right, so 2 things could be true, right? 2 things could be true. Like what you said, it may be youth driven, but some guys, the superstars, really took off when they got older. So, you know what I'm saying?
But I disagree. I think most superstars took off when they was in the beginning of their career.
You look at most of the people, most of the big artists, usually 20s, early 30s at the highest. They really achieve their superstardom. Most times, 90% of the
Correct. Yeah, I don't know what Papoose is trying to say right now, or if he's just trying to fight ageism. Sound like he just got a problem with people talking down on old rappers because he's an old rapper, you know what I mean?
The time. You rarely see someone that gets hot for the first time in their 40s.
For the first time? Yeah, well,
for the first time.
I don't want to
never.
encourage a guy to be, you know, a senior citizen and try to start a rap career. I think it's some truth to what you said. You know, you kind of got to start at least when you're younger, and then if you grow old, you age like fine wine. If you're one of those guys, you can keep going. I do disagree when they base everything upon the youth. When you have an artist in the studio and you got somebody who comes in there and say, "Oh, but is the youth going to like that? Is the kids going to like that? Oh, the kids don't want to hear that." Like, bro, the kids are not the only ones on the planet, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think why his rap career tanked because he's trying to rap for older people, I guess. I guess he's trying to rap for the more matured minds, I guess. I don't know. I'm not understanding what he's trying to say, but yeah, hip hop is a youth thing. It's a youthful thing. Like the youth push hip hop. It's always been that way from the beginning of hip hop. It's just how it works, bro. It's the younger dudes. You know what I mean? When you start aging out, they like, yo, this old dude, I don't want to hear the dude spit no but like he's too old for that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to hear this OG kicking no knowledge. It's just how it works. Unfortunately, I'm not saying it's the most like it's the best system. It's kind of ignorant, but it's how it works. The young dudes is getting it popping. They the ones on the charts, you know what I mean? And when you get older, you age out and they say you're not cool no more.
You do have the elder statesmen in the game, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Vlad. Some of the most talented, malicious, vicious, dope, articulate spitters are the older guys, bro. I'm talking about like with that real quality substance. A lot of them are older, but you got some of the young guys, right, who go crazy. I don't like when people try to play the old against the young. That's not
what I'm doing. But what I'm saying is that
he said he don't like when people play the old against the young. But he said when you looking for quality, when you looking for substance, you got to go with the older dudes. That's the same thing as playing the old against the young, and you are the old, bro. You're not young no more. You got to keep it a buck with yourself, man. The young is doing their thing. You sound like an old hater that didn't make it. You sound crazy, man. Like, I don't know if he gonna see how this interview look. It don't look good for you, man, to be this age and talking about what you talking about the way you talking about it. Now, I understand what he's trying to say, But I don't ever discredit the young dudes because there's a lot of young dudes doing their thing, and there actually is talented lyricists that are young. I don't ever be like, yo, the young dudes can't rap. Actually, these young dudes really know what to do. There's very talented young people if you know what you're looking for. And it's not on the radios no more. That radio shit is dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, streaming is what it is now. You got to go to the streaming. You got to go to social media. You got to find people on Instagram, find people on TikTok. It's out there if you're looking for it. If you're not looking for it, you're not going to find it. But I think it's so much out there right now, and there is many talented young people. I'm not one of those older dudes who's like, yo, the young people just, they ain't got no substance. If you look for the commercial shit, of course. If you're looking for the commercial shit, always, it's going to be whatever they're going to try to promote. And it's probably going to be the most negative kind of energy that you can imagine. That's just the type of time that we live in. Everybody's trying to make their money. That's why. People are just worried about getting bread. It's not about passing a good message on. People are like, how can I get my bread up fast, quick? And that's not just in music. So we got to stop acting like it's hip hop. This is just the era that we live in. People are trying to make money fast. Nobody want to work hard for nothing. You know what I'm saying? They want to take ChatGPT, Google, Gemini, and all of that and create the next best thing and be sitting there and making residual income sitting at home. That's what people want to do now. Nobody wants to work hard for nothing.
Most times when you see kind of the shifts in the culture, there's usually a young person behind that. And then it's a domino effect, it's a ripple effect and so forth. But when you look at all the biggest artists, Kendrick, Drake, J. Cole, like all these guys that are big right now, they started off when they were young and they got real hot when they were younger. They continued their streaks and so forth. And, you know, you could say that lyricism isn't valued as much in hip hop anymore, but you can't say that Kendrick's not a lyricist.
Yeah, you can't say that. Nah, Kendrick definitely.
You can't say J. Cole's not a lyricist.
Well, I don't take nothing away from him. I did disagree when he pulled out of the battle.
So you disagree with me on this?
No, I'm saying with all due respect to J. Cole, you know what I mean? Because he did put his pen down, and you got to respect his pen, right? But when the situation transpired with Kendrick, I didn't approve of, you know, him backing out of that. I got to say that.
I'm pretty sure J. Cole does not care how Papoose feels about what he did in life. He probably don't care about what I say. You know what I mean? He don't care about what a lot of people say. I agree with him, though. I feel like it was kind of soft for J. Cole to pull out of the Kendrick battle, especially when he made a whole diss record. I definitely agree with that. I said that on this channel before. Y'all can go back and look at that. I think J. Cole was soft, and he should have stood tall on whatever he thought at that moment.
As a hip hop historian, I'd be fake if I sit up here and say that's what it is, bro.
No, I think everyone kind of, when that happened, it was like, man, that's not hip hop. Like waving the white flag after dropping a diss record and apologizing, that was
absolutely whack. But I will say, J. Cole is definitely a spitter. J. Cole is definitely a lyricist, and he's definitely hip hop. I'll say that. Even though I don't agree with him, hearing him talking in interviews recently, I realized that's just who he is. Like, he's more of a nature, go along with type of guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just loves to be cool and love to be loved. Like, he don't want no problems and no friction. And some people, that's just who they are. He's staying true to himself. So in a way, he's being real. That's just who he is. He don't want no problems.
Not hip hop. That's not hip hop. But I'm saying outside of that moment, when you look at how his songs are structured and what he writes down and how he spits, I feel like he's still a lyricist.
And I want to salute him for his new project, for coming back strong, man. It ain't about how you fall, it's how you get up. So I will salute him, and I agree with you on that. He definitely one of them guys. But in that moment, I was like, come on, bro. I was rooting for you, my nigga. Like, what you doing? The way he spit when he did the record with Benny the Butcher, if he would have came at Kendrick like that, we would have had a whole different battle. Go listen to J. Cole and Benny and look how.
Not doing that though. He definitely wasn't doing that. he was sad that he even made the one that he made. You know what I mean? When he went home at night, he just couldn't stand it. Like, you know, he was listening to that shit back like, man, I don't know why I said all of that. Because now I got to actually face it. I got to actually face Kendrick. He ain't want no smoke with Kendrick, man. Not saying that he can't compete with Kendrick on that level. It's the energy that it takes for a battle. Some people do not have that negativity inside of them to actually go through a battle. Like a battle requires a lot of negativity, a lot of negative energy to be able to go back and forth with somebody like that. And some people, I've seen it myself. Some people are not built for that. Even if they're the dopest lyricists in the world, or I don't want to say the dopest lyricists in the world, even if they're a dope lyricist, I've seen dope lyricists growing up. There's one dude, he was a dope rapper. He had the punchlines, he had the flow, he was on point with everything. He got into it with one of his mans. His mans was a battle rapper, like a real gritty battle rapper. And I remember I told him, I said, yo, fam, yo, you sure you want to go against this dude? Because he knows a lot about you. That's your man's, and he battle raps already. Like he battle raps face to face. He get up there, you know, that's a whole different type of arena. If you know anything about that, if you ever been in front of somebody and had to rap to them face to face, that's a different energy than sitting there getting your pen and pad out, writing the lyrics down, go in the studio, rehearse it, spit that verse, then gotta go on the stage and spit that. That's not the same as you going face to face with somebody who's trying to destroy you. And I told him, I remember I said, bro, think about it, please, man. Please think about it, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go in front of this man and spit no bars, man. You're not like that. I didn't say that you wasn't like that, but I just said, that's not your thing. He was like, nah, it's cool. I got it. Yo, he came up with the slogan. He had everybody going on social media. Back in the day, this was like Facebook days and all of that. He gets to the battle. He starts rapping. They going crazy. You know what I mean? He go first round. The dude goes second round. He got the crowd with him. You know what I mean? He got a little bop to him. He got them chanting the shit that he's saying and everything. As soon as that other nigga went, yo, it was quiet. It was quiet. And it was quiet for the rest of the 3 rounds. Just quiet. Like he was just roasting, smoking him, because it's a different energy when you battling somebody that got that spirit, that got that dog in them paws. I don't care how much lyrics you got, how witty you are, how smart you are. If you don't have that same energy that they coming with, you're not going to win. I don't think Drake was trash. I think Drake really did the best Drake could do. I don't know if he had a ghostwriter or not, but if you go back and listen to it, it was dope. It just wasn't no Kendrick. That's it. Not saying that Kendrick can make the same type of songs that Drake can make. He can't. Drake makes amazing songs, different type of genres and all of that. But when it came pound to pound to that battle, Meet the Grams, They Not Like Us, just everything Kendrick did compared to what Drake was doing, it was 2 different type of opponents in front of each other. It was 2 different type of people, man. And I love Drake. I actually like Drake's music. Been fucking with him for a minute. I really didn't even listen to Kendrick like that. I'm not going to say that I don't like Kendrick, but I wasn't a fan. I didn't follow him. But at that battle, when that battle happened, I was like, nah. I ain't want it to be true, man. That's how bad it was. I wanted Kendrick to lose. I wanted Drake to get a W, but I had to be real with myself and listen to the lyrics and listen to the flow and listen to what was going on back and forth. Drake lost. He lost bad. Would J. Cole be able to fight that beast that I heard? I don't think J. Cole got that energy in him. Lyrically, he's inclined. He's dope. I just don't think he has that fight in him. I think he would have folded very bad. I think he might have cried. You know what I mean? Some of the shit that Kendrick would have said to him, he probably would have cried. I'm starting to think J. Cole's actually softer than Drake. For real. Like all these interviews I've been seeing, I'm like, yeah, this man is soft. Dead ass.
Crazy he went on that Benny joint. Shout out to Benny too. He did his thing too. But J. Cole, if he would have gave us that J. Cole, whole different battle. I don't know why. He came with the bouncy flow against Kendrick, which is always a mistake. So all my lyricists never do that, man. When it's wartime, go to your element, bro. That's what I want from you, bro. So I think part of that shit is having yes men around you. Whoever was around him should say, yo, bro, that ain't it, bro. That's not what we want. Because as lyricists, let me tell you a secret.
That's not true. Out of J. Cole's mouth, that's not true. Because at the time when he actually went to that diss record, he actually was the yes man. If we're going to be keeping a buck, J. Cole was the yes man. He was the one that went and did some shit that he didn't feel good in his spirit, in my soul, in my heart. You know what I mean? I didn't want to diss that man. That was the nigga that, you know what I mean? His man was like, yo, you got to get this nigga Kendrick, man. Get this nigga. He out here talking crazy about you. You heard the shit that he said? And you better respond to that. You better make a diss record. J. Cole ain't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. Let's keep it a buck. He did it anyway. And then he regretted it. That's not hip hop. That's not hip hop. That's not the hip hop I grew up on.
It's easy for us to do that bouncy flow shit. It comes fast. It's too easy. So he kind of took the easy way out.
All right, this is the only thing I got to say about this situation. Papoose said it's easy for us. How he put himself in the conversation? Like, it's easy for us? I ain't never hear Papoose in my life. I don't know about y'all. I ain't never hear him in my life come with the bouncy flow and really go crazy. He don't got no fucking hit. He ain't got no hits. He ain't got no hits. He ain't got no hits, man. How you come with the bouncy flow and you ain't got no hits? You ain't got nothing commercial. And then the songs that I heard him on that was commercial, even way back when we was even talking about Papoose and he was viral. Yeah, come on, bro. Bouncy flow. You was always off beat. You was always slightly off beat. You was always like slightly a little bit over to the left, nigga. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. If we gonna be real here, and I'm sorry, a lot of y'all be saying that Papoose is mad dope. Papoose is dope. I think something wrong with y'all ears too. I think something wrong with y'all ears. To me, he sound like a remedial Big L. He's definitely not as talented as Big L. I don't care what y'all say, man. He's not on the same type of level as a Big L, as a Nas. There's so many lyricists that I can name before I name a Papoose. And I'm not saying Papoose is trash. I want y'all to get this clear. I don't think Papoose is trash. I just don't think he's nice as y'all think he is. I really don't. I think Papoose is somewhere in the middle. He's somewhere in the mediocre, he's mediocre. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's better than Joe Buttons. I really don't. That's just me personally, because Joe Buttons actually knows how to flow. He knows how to flow on a beat tremendously. He's dope at flowing. He knows how to punch. He knows how to do stories. He knows how to just give you all the type of lyricism that you would want. Just like a Papoose could, to me. But if you're an artist, if you're a rapper and you don't know how to spit on a beat, if you don't know how to rap on a beat or flow properly, to me, you're missing an element. There's always going to be an element missing there if you cannot hear the beat properly. Or if you don't want to hear the beat properly. There's probably a lot of people that don't even want to hear the beat properly. And it's the same thing. You can't be a dope writer. You could be a dope writer for somebody else, probably. Maybe. I don't even know if that translates either. I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? Because the number one thing is, does it sound good? If it doesn't sound good, then why would we want to hear it? Nobody wants to play something that doesn't sound good. And it's like, the verses was cool, but it was offbeat to me. Who wants to actually do that? I don't know nobody in life that ever wanted to play some shit that was offbeat on purpose. Maybe the new generation, maybe that's how they give it up. But what y'all think though? What y'all think? Do y'all think right now, do y'all think we have the worst era of hip hop? Do you think it was 2010s? Let's see. We in 2026. Was it the 2020s? Was it the 2010s? Was it the 2000s? Well, or was it the 90s? Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Like, what era to y'all had the worst hip hop? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make a poll too. I want to make a poll for this. What era had the worst hip hop artists? I gotta really think about it. Damn, do we gotta put the 80s in this too? We might have to put the 80s into this too. I don't even know who was out in the 80s, man. That shit, for me, that's gonna be doing a lot of research. I know the 80s is totally different than right now. Peace, love, happiness, harmony. They was doing the African shit and all of that. You know what I'm saying? We in a whole different world right now. Niggas is talking about Dracos and all of that. But yeah, you know what to do, man. Make sure y'all like, make sure y'all subscribe, hit that hype button as well. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We're going to be getting it in all day, every day. Numbers don't